Hello, everyone. Welcome to A Day in the Tavern. Yes, I know it's been a little while since I've done one of these little videos, and I said I'll try to get them more often, but unfortunately, life does come hectic. But I've come here now, more importantly, with some big important news, especially within the world of tabletop role playing. So last week, we saw Critical Role release a new video called State of the Play, I think it was, or State of the Press, which has to involve with their company, Darrington Press. If you don't know what Darrington Press is, please get out of the rock you've been living under for the past several years. Darrington Press is their company that kind of makes up all their games and all their books and everything that they sell out onto their sites, as well as letting other companies and stores sell it. Some of the main things they've done is things including the Ukatoa game, as well as their campaign guides as well, which have been massively popular. And obviously they just released The Last Gasp as well, which game I haven't gotten around to getting or playing yet, but it definitely looks like a lot of fun. So, at this State of the Play, they talked about some of the new games they'll be unveiling, as well as the fact that they're going to be at Gen Con this year, which is great for those who live in America and can go to it, not for a lot of us here in England who unfortunately either can't go or don't have enough money. One day. But anyways, so they said they're going to be there and going to be unveiling some of these games and play testing them there. Now, of course, that's all the light basic stuff for it. I mean, it's great they're coming out with more games, and they all do look absolutely fun and exciting, and I do hope to get my hands on them to play. But the main reason I've come to do an episode today and do this is to talk about what they talked about at the very end of the video. So obviously we can't really carry on with this without talking a little bit about the OGL and what Wizards of the Coast tried to do at the beginning of the year. Now, yes, I know it's been a few months since then, and probably most of us have decided to forget or overlook the fact that that happened, and we're hoping that Wizards do the same. But obviously, beginning of the year, well, I say beginning of the year, end of last year, Wizards of the Coast tried to force a new contract upon Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition to try and make more money out of people. Basically, taking away from people who have managed to make a living with the basics of what Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition is, and decide, like, well, you're making this much money, we want money off you for allowing you to use our stuff. Thankfully, the entirety of the community rose up against this and basically went like, hey, by the way, we don't like this, so you need to stop it. And thankfully, Wizards actually listened to us and stopped it. The OGL is no longer resistant, and they're not pushing it through a new OGL at all, which means the open gaming license is staying the way it is, which means content creators, kind of like myself, but I don't actually earn money doing this. I'm just doing this in my spare time because I enjoy doing it. But a lot of the other content creators out there still get to earn the money they're earning without having to fork over too much of their money out to the main company. But amidst all this, Critical Role was kind of silent throughout all of it, which definitely annoyed a lot of people, but realizing that they were contracted directly with Wizards of the Coast for D&D 5th edition, they couldn't really speak out against it, because if they did, it would be breaching of their contract, and they could lose a lot of money themselves. Yes, I know that may sound selfish of them, but they are business, they're trying to earn money, and a lot of people, and they are one of the biggest influencers and people that have gotten other people into Dungeons & Dragons of recently. But of course, this all could change quite easily within the next year. Why? Well, simple. Critical Role have unleashed not just one, but two new gaming systems for tabletop role-playing games. Now, they're not out yet. I think I've just accidentally said that they released it. They've announced two new gaming systems they're working on. Now, the first one is Illuminated Worlds. If you didn't catch into the State of Play, please go over and watch it. It is absolutely amazing. They talk a little bit more about the games they've created and one of the people who created one of the games as well. It is amazing, and I look forward to trying to get my hands on these. The systems, yes, I'm a little bit more interested in because I'm a big tabletop person, and I love tabletop role-playing games. So both of these systems sound interesting to me. So the first one, Illuminated Worlds, talks about it's a D6 dice pool game, and it's designed for short arc-driven campaigns. Now, this does interest me slightly because while COVID was around a couple years back, I did a lot of small campaigns with my players just to keep us going and keep it keep us playing the game because we enjoyed it so much, and my creativity went through the roof. So I thought, oh, I got to do something. So that would have been great for it. It's also designed to fit a number of different type settings, which means including fantasy, sci-fi, modern world, post-apocalyptic, even like things that people have created, like the systems based around, like probably even Pokemon and some of the anime worlds as well, which would be great to see how people take this system and apply it to their games or make games based around the system. Definitely something I'm probably going to do at some point with either my players or a bunch of other people who would love to get in and sit down and play around this. Now, the second one, we didn't get much information about, but it's definitely the one that has gripped me a bit more and has pulled me in and been like, yeah, I want to give that a massive look. It's called Daggerheart. Now, we know quite a little, fairly little about this system at the minute. They're allowed to give us the name of it and a few little details because they're still working on it, which is more than fair enough. Because it is designed for long, story-driven, and character-building campaigns. Now, that's the main reason why it interests me, because I'm currently with my players on a long campaign, story-driven campaign. I'm working on the second campaign as we speak as well, getting the ideas and foundations laid for that, which is going to be another several arc-based, long-driven campaign for character development, and it's what I like, because you get to know and understand these characters. It's what Critical Role have done consistently on the third campaign of this now. So yes, this is I'm interested. It's designed and specifically pointed for more fantasy base, which absolutely fine with me because I love high fantasy. And that's about as much as we know. Now, this next whole bit is going to be me speculating and guessing. I'm not going to make any assumptions. I'm not going to say that this is what they're going to do, but I'm going to hazard some kind of guess. Now, if Matt Mercer has any form of involvement in Daggerheart, which I think we all can agree he definitely does, it's going to be amazing, for starters. If you don't believe me, you need to look at the subclasses he's created for the current class system in D&D 5th edition, as well as the Blood Hunter class as well. He's done amazing at creating these. Obviously, he's not done them on his own. He's had a few people come in and help him and kind of edge things out a little bit easier for him. But he had that creativity, and the creativity is there. Now, personally, I can possibly see something quite similar to how 5th edition is already. Not necessarily like a D20 or something as the main kind of thing, or like certain skills and things that will be different, but I can see something of that like. Bear in mind, please, note, I could be completely wrong. If I am, I will admit I am wrong, right? This is just me taking a guess at what they're doing and what they're coming up with. But this is what I can see probably happening. It'll be very immensely similar to the 5th edition in a D20 system. Different classes, probably, different skills, areas of skills, things like that. Or similar, because 5th edition is still part of the OGL, so he can still technically use it. But again, it could be completely different. We could see different forms of different classes of the current classes we have. So you could probably see a shaman class over the druid class or something like that. But again, this is all speculation. This is just me thinking of what might come up. I'm immensely interested, and I cannot wait to read what Daggerheart is. This is why I wish I was going to Gen Con to read up about this and find it out, because it has gripped me. A system designed for long, story-driven, character-building campaigns. Yeah, totally into that. My players would be absolutely into that as well. And if I get a chance to be a playtest for it, I am going to jump on that like crazy. Obviously, small YouTube channel. We don't really get a lot of people on our live streams and XYZ. So the likelihood of me getting a chance to playtest it is slim to none. But still, I would love to. And I can't wait for it to come out and have a read through it and figure out how to do this. Yeah, like I said, that's my speculation of it, though. That's going to be not too dissimilar from how 5th edition is at the minute. It's probably going to look at making the system's probably going to be easy as possible to understand and get to grips with. 5th edition, for those who don't know, is the easiest form to play Dungeons and Dragons. If you go back to some of the older systems, they're kind of complicated, and they do take a little bit of working out to understand. But 5th edition is the easiest. I've managed to get like several people into D&D through using 5th edition, and they picked it up rather quickly, which is absolutely amazing. But yes, Illuminated Worlds and Daggerheart. 2 new RPG systems from Critical Role. But of course, now what does that mean for Wizards of the Coast in 5th edition? Critical Role has been the biggest thing in the last several years to pull people into Dungeons and Dragons. Yes, Stranger Things is also kind of pulled in, but a lot of people who come in to play D&D through Stranger Things weren't overly impressed. I've talked to a few of them, and I know a few of them, because they were expecting something like Stranger Things. But it's not. They're playing D&D. You're playing a fantasy game, not Stranger Things. Some people have gone in through memes, through other of the live Let's Play, live streams, shows out there, and others have just kind of were part of D&D from the beginning and just came back after several years. But Critical Role have been the main foundation that has brought a number of people into the Dungeons & Dragons community and started playing because of it. They're making their own system now. What does that mean for Wizards of the Coast? Well, they've already seen a massive drop in their profits because of the OGL and what they decided to do. The fact that most people higher up at Wizards of the Coast don't really care much about the community of Dungeons & Dragons and Magic the Gathering, as we found out as well, over Critical Role, who's the main cast, the people who run the operation, play Dungeons & Dragons live stream on a weekly basis, as well as having a whole host of crew members who are big Dungeons & Dragons people, who are big nerds, who enjoy this kind of stuff as well, came to work because they wanted to work for a company that understands what they're doing and the product they're selling. Because it is a product. Critical Role is a product they're selling. They're selling you their game to be part of this world. And it works. I'm massively hooked into Critical Role. I've got a number of Critical Role merchandise as well. Things like that. So it's something I enjoy. I got sucked into it. That's how I got into D&D, was through Critical Role. Now they're going to release a new system. You're damn right I'm interested. Near on probably every Critical Role person who enjoys Critical Role anywhere near a level I do is definitely going to be interested in these new gaming systems. And are definitely going to give them a check out. The second they come open to full playtest for the audience, you're damn right, a lot of us are probably going to jump onto it. So, that's what it is. State of the play. Yeah, I'm interested. Yeah, these new board games also look awesome as well. So, yeah. That's kind of about it. That's all I wanted to come in here to talk about was that. And how actually genuinely excited I am for this. It's been one of the things that's been constantly going over and over and over and over in my head so much that it's like, yeah, I need to check this out completely. So, if you get a chance to have a check it out yourself, please do. The second it becomes more information comes available, I will read up and probably do another video bit about the information, much like some of the other people out there are doing it, but obviously they're more successful than I am and been doing it a lot longer than I am, so they have a bigger audience to show out to than I do. But I wanted to do this video because, I mean, we're a D&D channel. We need to talk about tabletop role-playing games, and yeah, had to do it. But yes, shall hopefully do another one of these before long, and please remember, next Monday, this coming Monday, we'll be live streaming again, so look out for that, people. Until then, so I haven't figured out how to end this, have I? No, I haven't. Well, until next time, please remember, take your tankers back to the bar, tip your barman, and, I don't know, drink up. See y'all.